All right. Welcome everybody. My name is Lisa Leva, and I'd like to welcome you to the Women of DETCHE mentorship program. Thank you so much for joining us. I'm sharing this slide here just to give a little nod to International Women's Day that just happened recently, and want to share this little quote with you that I found that when you empower a woman, you empower a nation. And I think that just really tells you more about how important we are as women and how we take care of our community. And we are a very important part of that. So just want to give that little nod. So welcome again to the Women of DETCHE mentoring program. And this is for the cohort for 2025. So we were last meeting in December when we were discussing this and invited everyone to join. And this is our orientation for today, just to give you a little bit more information about the program, to help guide you a little bit more about if you're a mentor, about what are the topics you should be discussing, or for if you're a mentee, what to expect from the program. So that's our goal for today. And here's our agenda. So our agenda, we're going to provide a welcome and introduction for everyone. We're going to have for you to meet the women of DETCHE who are on this subcommittee. So this is more than just me. There's more folks here that are, it takes a village. And then we're going to give you an overview of the mentoring program so you understand a little bit more about how it works. Then we're gonna announce our matches for this year so that you can kind of see who's in the program with you. So you probably already know who your mentor or mentee is. You'll learn about who else is here in this cohort. And then we'll talk about the program expectations and what successful partnerships look like. And then we'll have a poll where we want to ask you, what do you want to learn about? We're going to have these meetups throughout the year. What types of topics interest you? We want to ask and check in with you. And then we'll talk about next steps. So this is the Women of DETCHE subcommittee. It's a subcommittee from the overall DETCHE board. And this is a subcommittee this is me, I'm Lisa Leva, head of instructional design at the library at UCSF. And joining me also is Ying Liu. She is the DETCHE Northern Regional Director, and she's a professor at San Francisco City College. We also have Takia Moore, who's a lead learning experience designer at Western Governor University Labs Research and Development. Joy Shoemate, who is a DETCHE Southern Regional Director, and she's also a director of online education at College of the Canyons. And then Susan, who wasn't able to make it today, she is the vice president of the DETCHE board and the associate director of instructional design at USF. So let's see. I'll go ahead and give our program overview. So the purpose is really to empower professional and personal growth. So this is giving you an opportunity to connect with other people and mentors who are motivated, so that you can discuss about your professional growth. But it also is much more than that. I've had this opportunity to have a mentor, and it's really a nice opportunity to check in and about situations that you have at work. Sometimes it could be life growth experiences, but it is really beneficial for both. I feel like you learn so much from being a mentor and a mentee. And then some of the key elements is like just sharing your knowledge and your experience over the years when you're a mentor, thinking about skill development of areas you should focus on. It's also about building networks, because sometimes when you connect with a mentor or a mentee, you also learn about who their networks are and how you can, get in touch with other people. And then there's also guidance on career growth and leadership, of course. And I think a lot of us had those types of aspirations. And then, of course, thinking about our roles, not just as leaders in our careers, but then innovation and education technology, because that's how we're all associated with DETCHE to begin with. And then our mission is just really to foster equity, growth, and professional development for women. But of course, recognizing and acknowledging that there's men also here in our room, that, these are our co-collaborators, the people that also make space for us. So just looking out into into the room who's here with us. Treb, giving a shout out to you because I know that you're great at making space for everyone and other folks that are here as well. So I'll stop with that. Tiki, I know we didn't have a chance to connect, but do you want to talk a little bit about the pairing process?
Yep. So thank you guys so much for applying to be mentored this year. And thank you so much for those who have agreed and hearkened to the call to be mentors this year. We tried to go about reviewing the personal background, the professional goals, and the aspirations for the person who applied to be a mentee, and align those to people who we thought had those goals or could align with those goals professionally and making matches. So we even recruited people to into this program to match to make sure that we met the needs of every person. So hopefully you are off to a wonderful start with somebody who is very, very much aligned and experienced in your areas of professional development and growth. And also for the mentors, where you can have a rich relationship with someone who is aligned with your path and projection in your career path. So that is how we went about it based on the surveyed information that you guys submitted in your application. Um, and that's the main thing about it. So thanks again to my little Rolodex of people who came and hearkened to my call and came in to help. And I hope we're off to a wonderful start this year with great mentor-mentee matches. And I'll turn it back over to you guys to announce those pairs.
Thank you so much.
Mhm.
Okay, so now we're going to announce who the Women of DETCHE is for cohort 2025. Get a little drum roll here. So first off, we have Sylvia Stone. She's an instructional designer from the University of California, San Francisco, and she's matched with Laura Otero. She's an online education coordinator at California State University in Monterey. And then we have Lena Piezas. She's an associate director, video platforms and content distribution at Stanford. And then we have Treb Padula, senior education technologies specialist at UC San Diego. Cindy Saunders is a manager of Faculty Support Center for Teaching and Learning at University of La Verne. Ellie Constantine, distance education director of Cypress College. Ying Liu, she's a biology faculty at San Francisco City College and also the DETCHE Northern Regional Director, and she's also supporting this group. And then Allison Saprowski, sorry if I messed it up, Allison, manager and learning environments and tools at UC Berkeley. And then Stephanie Kelly, she's an instructional designer at Mira Costa College with Luz Española she's an instructional designer at Naval Postgraduate School. Cynthia Wilson, instructional designer at Cuesta College. Lisa Beach, director of a distance education at Santa Rosa Junior College. Nadia Khan, instructional designer at Mira Costa College. Michelle Newhart, instructional designer at Mount San Antonio College. Kristen Arguedas, academic technology specialist at Stanford. Brian Best, senior instructional technologist, director of learning technologies at University of La Verne, and also a previous DETCHE president of the board. Let's see. And Donna Miranda, who's a project management office supervisor at California Community Colleges, California Virtual Campus. And then Anne Manigas.
Mangahas.
Oh, say it again.
Mangahas.
Mangahas, thank you. Deputy Director of Content at Foundation for California Community Colleges. Let's see, we have, and Susan Zolezzi, who's also supporting this program. She is not only supporting the program, but she's also participating. So you'll see her in future meetings. She couldn't make it today. Associate Director of Instructional Design and Education Technology Services at USF. And Janae Khan, she's an Executive Director, Center for Teaching and Learning at UC Berkeley. Amber Parker, she's a Program Director in Instructional Support and Technology Operations at UC Irvine. And Jana Remy, she's an Assistant Vice President, Educational Technology at Chapman University. Wow, and Sharon Oxford, she's an instructional instructional technologist designer at Ventura Community College. Gina Geiser, Manager of Teaching and Learning Services at UCSF. And that's about it. So welcome cohort members. Thank you so much. I will pass it on to my colleagues who's going to talk about the program expectations.
Thanks, Lisa, and thank you to all of you for being here. I appreciate, I've had the opportunity to connect with many of you via email, so thanks to all of you for being so responsive. We really appreciate you all being here, and we hope you find the experience enriching. So in terms of program expectations, again, this is a very flexible program, so we hope you get out of it something meaningful, and we appreciate that you all are willing to put in the effort to commit to regular meetings. So, of course, the pairs can schedule those meetings as you both see fit that work with your schedules, but we highly recommend meeting monthly, just so you can continue to strengthen and develop your relationship, build rapport with each other, really get to know each other over the course of the rest of this calendar year. We hope that mentors will also, of course, practice active listening, offer guidance, share any sort of networking or professional development opportunities with your mentees. So we appreciate that you all are willing to share what it is that you have experienced, and I'm sure you also will learn a great deal from your mentees. Mentees, of course, this is a volunteer program. You all are volunteering to participate in it. So please do respect and appreciate the fact that your mentors are volunteering their time. So work with them to set clear goals, engage with them proactively, and of course, remain open to feedback, because the purpose of this program is professional growth. So next slide, Lisa. And in terms of a successful mentoring partnership, I forgot I should put in the chat the link to the packet. I sent it to all of you via email last night, but I know some of you maybe don't receive the emails from our Gmail account. So I just put the link in the chat to our program, if you will, and this information about what makes for a successful mentoring partnership is pulled out of that packet. So again, to successfully get the most out of this program, please do engage in regular meetings. Make a list of goals, set some goals, and we explain more about SMART goals in that packet. This is really a process for self-reflection and for active listening. So we hope that both mentors and mentees will engage in both of those. We provide some examples of topics to discuss, but some might include, work-life balance, which we saw that on a number of applications. Your interest in learning from a mentor how to engage in work-life balance, or what that might look like for you as an individual, anxieties and risks, and the confidence to maybe take risks professionally. We want this space, the relationship you build as a pair, but also this space when we meet quarterly, to be a space where we get to acknowledge and celebrate successes, and really propel each other, lift each other up. This is also a space and can be the start of developing your own network, but certainly leverage this mentorship process to either continue developing your network or begin developing one. Some cheerleaders around you who will lift you up and support you. And then again, the link I put in the chat has more specific guidance. We know that a number of participants couldn't be here, so you may consider reviewing that packet together in your first meeting, just to ensure that you both are on the same page and have clear goals and clear expectations for what your partnership will look like throughout the year. So, thanks, Lisa. So I'll pass it on over to Ying.
Thanks, Joy. So to kick off our program, we thought that we will probably do a poll, just to kind of get an idea of what kind of topic that mentors and mentees would like to cover in their year-long program. And so Lisa, if you can click on the Mentimeter link. So this first question, some of you guys are already voting. Fantastic. So the first question is, I think you can choose three of them. So these are actually topics from. So this is our second year of the Women of DETCHE mentoring program, and these are topics from last year's cohort. So we have imposter syndrome, we have professional growth and career advancement, leadership and management, DEI, and also work-life harmony. I love it that we changed it from work-life balance to work-life harmony. I remember actually having a whole discussion about the wording of work-life harmony. So we just want to kind of take the temperature of the room just to see what everybody's interested in, talking with your mentor or your mentee, and also with a large group. And it looks like we have leadership and management is winning out. Professional growth and career advancement is pretty strong. Imposter syndrome, I love that. I think we are a women's mentoring program, and based on last year's feedback, imposter syndrome is a pretty common phenomenon for women in the workforce. So that's actually a great topic. And we've got
Ying, I had a question.
yeah.
I was wondering, this is Lisa. I was wondering, do you think we can share that link out with the other folks that weren't able to make it today, just to make sure we capture everyone's?
That's fantastic idea. Thank you so much, Lisa. And Joy, I will send the link to the Mentimeter to you, since you're in charge of communicating with everybody. Yeah, so definitely. Thanks for the suggestion. Okay, so that's very helpful information. And let me move on to the next one, the next question, which is, so having looked at all these questions that's covered from last year, are there any additional questions that are additional topics that you're interested in covering? And so Lisa, I'm not sure. Can you refresh? Oh, it's not really working. Um,
Is there another link oh, here it goes.
did it work?
Yeah, now it refreshed and now I can see what
It
additional
just takes a little
topics are
bit
you.
time. Yeah, so this is just a word cloud. Once again, we're trying to see what other topics that people are interested in exploring.
It looks like Luz, are you still having trouble joining the survey? Yeah.
Yes, I am.
So let me see.
I don't want to hold us up. I'm totally fine. I can watch.
Luz, do you know what? If you want to send it to me as a direct message, I'll put it in for you.
Try to click on that link, Luz, and see if it works. I
Yeah,
just put it in the chat.
I've
It did
clicked on the links and it just tells me the presentation is closed and go back to the start page. And then it's
Oh,
again, I don't want to hold us up. It's totally fine.
sorry about that. Project management, academic politics, okay. Conflict resolution. That looks very interesting. Um, just for everyone's information, I think salary negotiation came up in last year's topic as well. Pursuing doctor degree, effective communication, empower women, and teaching in addition. These are really nice topic. Okay. And so Lisa just suggested that we can send out the link to people who are not in the Zoom meeting. We're also gonna include a screenshot and put them into the PowerPoint that we're gonna share with everybody. So I think that would be kind of a nice addition.
Ooh, the ideas are rolling in as this adjusts every time. Managing up, empowering women, yes, networking. It's all great topics.
These are great topics, yes. AI. Okay, I just spotted AI. Career growth, learning community, growing network. These are fantastic ideas. Okay, so Lisa, I don't know I mean the poll is open, so people can just keep adding more words. Would you like to move on to the next part of the meeting?
Let me head back to the slides here. Thank you, everybody, for adding all of your topics and ideas. We'll definitely take a look and we'll keep you posted. We'll share it with others. So I'll go to well, this is a little bit about next steps. Joy, should I stop sharing and pass it on to you?
Actually, if you just refresh, Lisa, it should be the next slide before next steps.
Let's see if this will let me. Annotates in the way. Hold on for 1 second.
Sure.
Not working with me. Hold on. There we go.
And Takia actually will lead us through this one.
Okay. Takia.
Okay, it wouldn't be a mentorship group if there was no icebreaker, would it? We got to get to know each other, right? So we're going to go around and we're going to share 2 truths and a leadership lesson. So I'm going to start. So for me, my 2 truths would be, I love my sister. I think she is my favorite person in the entire world. And she gave me 2 beautiful nieces, and those are the little beats of my heart. And my leadership lesson is to say yes. There's a power in saying yes that can't be denied. It opens more doors than it closes. It gives you opportunities that you don't necessarily see for yourself. It helps you to see yourself differently and gives you, essentially the keys to the kingdom, because people know that they can depend on you and that you'll say yes. They're more likely to ask you to do things. So that's my leadership lesson. And I will pass it to Joy since I see her on my computer. So just pick a person who hasn't gone yet after you go.
Okay, thanks, Takia.
No.
So my 2 truths, I have a daughter who is my world, my everything. And what's another truth? I'm an only child, and so is she. So I'm sure there's something to be said about that. So those are my 2 truths. My leadership lesson is actually somewhat related to Takia's, but a little bit of the opposite, which is I have had to learn in time to say no for the sake of creating boundaries and allowing myself to really give my all to the work that I'm prioritizing. And I think it took me time to learn that because early in my career, wanting to prove myself, I had the tendency to say yes to all the things, thinking that that's what would garner respect. And I think just over time, I have found the confidence and learned that actually I'm able to really give of myself when I learn what to say yes to. So I think it's a little bit of Takia's. It's learning to say yes to certain things and being okay with saying no to others for the sake of setting boundaries. But I think I'm still learning and working on that. That continues to be the case. So I will pass it over. I'm going to give all of you participants some more time to think. So I'm going to go to another subcommittee member because we've had time to think about these. So I'll pass it over to Ying.
Thanks, Joy. two truths. These are actually harder than I thought. So one of them is actually, so I'm from San Francisco, but I'm actually currently on sabbatical, so I'm living in Scotland. So my accent is a little bit mixed up. Depends on the mood. Sometimes you might hear a little bit British accent. What will be another truth? I actually miss the Bay Area. But I know that as soon as I move back to the Bay Area, I probably miss Scotland. So I think that's kind of truth. My leadership lesson is actually pretty similar to, I hate to be redundant, but it's pretty similar to what Joy actually just said, because I have a tendency to overcommit myself. And I'm interested in all kinds of stuff. So I would say yes whenever people type on me for project and stuff. And this year's New Year resolution, I actually just kind of decided for myself that I need to be able to say no and prioritize all the things that I'm taking on, so that I can actually do a better job for the things that I actually have committed myself, if that makes sense. I'm gonna pass it on to Lisa.
Thanks, Ying. Okay, my two truths. My first truth is that I have two lovely teenagers that are wonderful and challenging at the same time, and I love it. I love every minute of it. I'm trying to savor every minute before they become full-on adults. My second one is that I'm actually working through my doctoral degree right now in my second year. It is also very challenging, but also I know that, since it has like an end date, then I know that this too shall pass and I'll be on the other side, hopefully by this time next year. So those are my two truths. My leadership lesson is that I myself have participated in a mentorship program this last year. And one of the things that we talked about the most that I am working on is remembering to pause and not feeling like I have to have the answer right away in that moment. And feeling that I have to react in that and maybe take a moment to think about my response and pause and say, if I need more information, what do you mean by that? Let's explore that a little bit more. I'm not quite sure I understand. And maybe even in that moment, I might not have a response then. Let me get back to you. And I feel like that will be my saving grace for a lot of very complex things that might be thrown at me. So that's my biggest lesson. Let's see, who should I pass it on to? Gina Geyser, because she's my colleague at UCSF.
Thank you. Hi, I'm Gina. Yeah, so I work at UCSF. I live in Oakland, and one of my truths is that I'm very involved in the art scene here. I'm a partner at a gallery in Uptown, and also do photography and have a studio in the Fruitvale area. My other truth is I have two awesome kids who are now either in college or out of college, and for the first time an empty nester. So that's been a big shift in how I spend my time. Just me and the cat here at home. And then the leadership thing, I totally agree with everybody. I think I had those on my list, but just in the effort of saying something different, I think something that's shifted for me this year is actually sharing what I know and realizing that can help other people. Even if I don't feel like it's necessarily good advice or anything, but just sharing my experience and the knowledge I gained from it has been really helpful in other spaces that I'm in. And I realize that it feels really good to sort of be able to share something personal, like my own lived experience, and have others sort of reflect on the situation they're in and hopefully have a positive outcome on some issue they're facing. Let's see. Donna, have you gone? You're right below my square, so.
Not yet. Hi, everyone. I'm Donna Miranda. One of my truths is I'm a new dog mom. I adopted a cockapoo recently. I can also another truth is I can hold a 3-minute plank. That's about the extent of my strength. That's about it. My leadership lesson is that it's okay to let other people fail and make mistakes. I think that's been really difficult because I'm always trying to help and make sure that people don't fail because I just don't want projects to fail. But, it's a learning experience for them and I can't take that away. And so that's been something that I've learned over the last year. I will pass it to Lisa Beach.
Thanks, Donna. Hi, I guess I'm the other Lisa here. My husband and I have 4 kids and 6 grandkids, so we have a full quiver. I am an amateur watercolorist, which is what I do to keep my sanity when other parts of my life are not so sane. And I think the other thing that has kept me sane in the last I don't know how many years I've been doing this work, but is I always recommend that people find other people who do what you do outside of your institution. It can be in your same system or not in your same system, but getting the perspective from someone else who can either share in your pain or can give you ideas about how they're doing things that have worked. And you don't feel like it's full of your own internal politics. So it can be really affirming to do that. So that would be my tip. And I will pass it on to Ellie.
Hi, everybody. I'm Ellie Constantine. So my 2 truths are I have a son, also an only son, who's my world. And I am caretaking my mom. So she is, I had to run away because she fell. And her caretaker couldn't lift her. So this has been like crazy whirlwind. I get the stress that the caretakers have. I mean, this is insane. So there's that. My leadership lesson would be like, I'm gonna disappoint people and I have to be okay with it. Like it's gonna happen. I'm human. I can't be perfect all the time, and that's okay. And so that's something I really struggle with, is dealing with kind of navigating how other people perceive me. And I have to be like, I have to be okay with that. Everyone's gonna have their opinions. So there it is. Thank you, everyone. Let's see. I'm not sure who hasn't gone. Let's see. Let's pick someone at the back of the list here. On the back of the Zoom. How about Kristen? Has Kristen gone?
No, I haven't.
Okay, cool.
Hi, everyone. I'm Kristen. My 2 truths. For one, I'll say that I'm recovering from an ACL injury from a year ago, so still doing rehab from that. That's been a little bit of an interesting year. And then my second one, kind of like Lisa, I also do amateur watercoloring. Right now I'm working on illustrating a picture book manuscript. So that's what I'm doing in my free time at the moment. And my leadership lesson, particularly in the field of education, is to consistently seek out opportunities to be a novice learner and reconnect with what that means, in addition to kind of seeking out more expertise. So finding new things to learn. And then who hasn't gone yet? Michelle.
Hello. My truths. I hold a PhD in sociology, so definitely my social science background is also kind of my hobby, and the other area of my career that I try to maintain, but certainly a lens that I bring to my work in instructional design. And I would say fitness is really important to me. So I'm very excited that it's now daylight savings because now I can start bike commuting a couple days a week. And then I also do some other fitness stuff like CrossFit and stuff. So that's another piece, another truth. And it definitely helps keep me feeling good about life. My advice, I guess the first thing, I'll just go with the first thing that I thought of, which is as a leader, it's important to do what you can to build trust. Building trust in your team, doing creative work, of which, course building or instructional design work involves a lot of creative work. And in order to do creative work in a team, you have to be able to be vulnerable, brainstorm, tell people raw ideas, let them see raw ideas that aren't perfect yet. And that takes trust among the team to be willing to be vulnerable in that way. So that would be the thing I would say is a leadership principle. Oh, and let's see. How about Nadia?
Hi, everybody. I'm Nadia Khan. And two truths about me. One would be that I've lived and worked in Canada. I'm Canadian also. And then the other one is that I've taught ESL and linguistics online. And so a leadership lesson that I would like to share would be to listen and observe without judging. I think that's a big one. And then also be authentic in providing feedback, support to folks who come to me. So I am going to pick Stephanie, because Stephanie and I work together. So Stephanie, over to you.
Hi everyone, I'm Stephanie Kelly. My two truths. We have an 18-month-old daughter who we spend a lot of time chasing around. That keeps us on our toes. Second truth, I love spending time doing anything active. So hikes, walks. Currently it's a stroller run if our daughter would humor me and let me do it. A leadership lesson that I've learned is I feel like it's kind of like a branch of what Michelle was saying, that effective leaders really kind of create a shared vision with whoever they're leading. And so just really building that idea that everyone in the team has something to contribute, and just really building and increasing the motivation, accountability, and buy-in by kind of co-creating that vision with folks. Oh, I'm supposed to choose someone. Let's see. I don't think Janae has gone. Okay.
Not yet. Thanks, Stephanie.
Okay.
You got it. I know, trying to keep track. It's like its own little mental memory game. So nice to meet many of you and see some nice familiar faces. I'm Janae Cohn. I work at UC Berkeley, so also in the Bay Area. So that's one truth. I live in the East Bay. I'm in El Cerrito. And I've been really just enjoying discovering community here, getting to know new neighbors, kind of a new area. It takes a while to settle into a new place, and it's been kind of a pleasant discovery to just kind of learn new haunts and kind of get to know a new place. That's been fun. My other truth, like many of you, also have a child, daughter who's 13 months old. So we're also chasing her around. She just started to walk. So that's a big, big transition. And I'll just say today I am exhausted because she, like between daylight savings earlier this week and a cold, like we are just like decimated on the sleep front. So I feel like it's one of these days where I'm like sort of trying to move through the world. I'm like, do I make sense? Are any of the words, or is this just nonsense? So thank you for humoring me if like I am not totally logical in my train of thought. I will say in terms of a leadership lesson I've been thinking about, it's one that I really struggle with, but I remind myself of constantly, which is that collaboration, a successful collaboration does not need to yield consensus. That consensus should not always be our goal. And in fact, like diversity of perspective and even conflict is a healthy part of an organization. And the goal of collaboration really is to ensure that we get everyone on board to listen and think and work together, even if there is disagreement. So I'm a little conflict adverse by nature. So that's why I need to like continue to internalize this lesson. And I don't always want to address that conflict, but it's normal and healthy and good. So I appreciate everyone's wisdom so far, and I'm looking forward to hearing more. Sylvia, have you gone yet?
No, I haven't. Thanks.
Okay, pass it to you, Sylvia.
Thanks. Okay, so my two truths are one, I've lived in California now for 5 years, but I don't feel like a Californian. I feel like an East Coaster, probably always will. And my second truth is that I have a 22-year-old, 22-month-old, wow, completely different. And like you just mentioned, Janae, daylight savings has been a nightmare for us, and he hasn't been going to bed until like 10. And yeah, sleep is a little bit crazy in our household right now, but we'll see how long it takes to adjust. And then for me, I think a big lesson that I've learned and I'm still learning maybe is that um it's okay to delegate. My manager Lisa's on this call, Lisa Leva, and she knows that I can get very controlling about the work I do, and I like things done the way I do them, and it can be hard for me to give up control, but I think it's important to do that, especially, if you've like too much on your plate or whatever the reason may be. It's okay to delegate and you know, give tasks to other people to do, and if they do it a little differently, that's fine. The work gets done, and that's what matters. So okay, let me see. Treb, have you gone? No, right?
I have not.
Okay, over to you.
Alrighty. One thing I'll start with is anyone who hasn't gone yet, please raise your hands so we can figure it out because I have no idea how you all have done a great job making sure you pick somebody who hasn't gone before. I'm completely impressed.
You must have a list.
Yeah, exactly. My my truths are one of them. I'm going to piggyback. I am also a Canadian citizen, have my maple leaf tattoo and everything. And I have a new puppy is my other truth. And I had forgotten what it's like to raise a puppy after having an older dog. So not as much, I can't complain sleep like all of the new parents, but I will say that having no sleep because of the puppy is another thing. Leadership wise, one thing I always think about is the fact that we think of the word leadership as one thing, but it's actually two. It's the role someone may hold, but it's also how we act. And that's something I always try to remind people is that we can be leaders and be good leaders when we aren't considered a leadership role in our job. And so that's a key thing to remember is that just being a good leader, I mean, we see this in our word clouds, like the whole managing up, leading up. These are things that we can do. Um, so yeah, okay, and we've got Anne hasn't gone yet. You know what? Because your hand raise is not working, we're gonna call on you. So Anne, I'm gonna have you go next.
Yeah, public speaking is not my favorite thing, even though surprisingly I was an educator for nearly 20 years, so I don't know how I made that work. So I'm Anne. I work with a Foundation for Capital Colleges. I'm in Southern California. Two truths about me. I'm actually a creative outside of my work, so I feel like I'm in a great group of fellow artists here. My medium, however, is acrylic. I used to be a watercolorist, and you guys are immensely talented. I can't get the watercolor to do what I want it to, so it's amazing. Those of you that are really good at it. And I'm a writer as well, so I'm working on a book right now about my sort of time I've spent in the tech field. In my earlier career, I was a high school science teacher and got to work on some fun projects with kids. And we sent some little micro lab projects up to the ISS. A leadership lesson that I've found has been really helpful. I had a really terrific boss once back in the day who gave me the greatest advice and told me, if you fail, fail hard. Because you will learn the most out of those experiences and grow from them because failure is a part of learning. So that's about me. All right, I will toss it to, let's see, has Luce gone yet?
Hello, I have not. So I will take the baton. Thank you. Hello, everyone. I'm Luz Española, and two truths about me is Spanish is my native language. And I have two fur babies. One is a Beagle mix, and the other is a Chihui Hui. That's a Chihuahua mix. And let's see, one leadership lesson that I can share is don't doubt the decisions that you have thoroughly worked through, meaning you've spoken to your stakeholders, you've vetted it, you've done everything you can to come to the best possible decision that will give you the best possible outcomes. And just know that other people are not going to agree with you, and that that's okay. Trust your instincts, trust your knowledge, and stick with it. All right, with that, I'm going to pass the baton to Laura.
Hello, everyone. Sorry, I'm like off camera mostly because I don't want the phone to be looking up my nose the whole time. So to give you a little bit about me, I'm also a dog mom and I'm a human mom. And I love them equally. I have a 7-year-old daughter and a 13-year-old Aussie mix. So that is, we have a wild family life. Another fact about me, I'm a post-apocalyptic sci-fi writer, so I'm like a huge nerd. Always happy to nerd out with folks about anything like that. And my leadership tidbit is something that I got from a boss that I had many years ago, and it's really stuck with me. And it has made a huge impact in the relationships that I've had with other people. And it's to always allow other people to save face. And that's really, really important. Even when you're in a meeting and they have been a pain in your butt the whole time, it's really important to allow them the grace to save face because they will remember how you made them feel. So that's all I have. And I think I'm navigating this on my phone. I think we have Jana who needs to go as well.
Yep. Thank you. So I'm Jana Remy, and two truths about me. I have a PhD in history, and I have a lifelong love of technology. That's been a constant throughout my entire life. And then I think for my leadership lesson, I'm going to build a little bit on what Kristen said. I try every year to put myself into a situation where I'm a novice learner because I think it helps me to understand the experiences that the learners have in our classrooms. So this year I am taking a welding class, and that's a really big stretch for me. I haven't done something like that before. So I put on fireproof pants and a fireproof shirt, and I go and play with really hot things at the local community college in my class. And I'm having like a ball, actually. But it's really different to be sitting in a seat, using Canvas as a learner, sitting in the seat and working under the direction of a faculty member instead of being on the other side of things. And I think it's helped me quite a bit to do that. And so I've been doing that for a few years now, taking a class or trying something new like that. And I think it's helped me to be a better learner and a better leader.
Thank you guys so much. The wisdom in this room is amazing. I'm so happy to be part of this powerhouse of professionals, and I can't wait to see what we come up with this year and what we do together. So I'm gonna turn it back over to Lisa to close this. Actually, I'm sorry, Ying, right? The closeout crew. I'm gonna just leave it there.
Thank you, Takia. And just like you, I really appreciate being in this group and just the energy and people suggested in the chat that we have shared so many great leadership lessons. So we'll see what we can do. So we can probably gather the things being recorded, and we can probably gather them together, put them into a Google Sheet or something to share it with everybody. I think that would be a really good resource to have. So moving forward, what's the next step for everybody to do. So schedule your first partner session with your mentor or mentee. And we're actually going to have our first large group. So the large group meetings are quarterly. So our spring large group meeting is actually going to be next Friday from 12 to 1. So March 21st, put it on your calendar. And then June 20th, also Friday, we're going to have our next large group meeting. And then in September 19th, that will be our autumn or fall large group kind of checkup meeting. And then this year's DETCHE meeting is actually going to be in Palm Springs, and it's going to be December 2nd to the 5th. So we hope most of you guys can actually make it. DETCHE meetings are a lot of fun. I don't know how many people have attended, but it's a fantastic format. Everybody's in the same room, for a few days, so you actually get to know people really, really well. And that's also going to be the place where you're actually going to be presented with your certificate for participating in the DETCHE Women mentoring program. So it's fantastic to see everybody here. If you need to reach us, we actually have a Gmail account, so you can see the email over there, womenofdetche@gmail.com. And I'm gonna hand it back to I don't know, Takia, Lisa, Joy. Do you guys have anything else to say to the group?
I just want to say that I love this group already. I love everything that's been said in the chat, and I'm really looking forward to spending, time with you during the meetups. And then if I haven't already met you in person, looking forward to hopefully seeing you in person at the DETCHE conference in December. But we have a lot to cover between now and then, right?
Yep.
Anyone else? Any final remarks?
I'm just excited to see you all online and get to know all of you better. Have some cool conversations this year and grow from rubbing up against you guys. So thank you so much for being so giving and participatory in this program. So, please make sure you read through the program. So what's it called? I'm struggling with my words today. Can you
Packet, the orientation
packet. Just like make sure you read through the packet. That way everybody understands what we're all supposed to be doing together and where one person starts and another one starts. So that should help make it a little smoother and beneficial. And also, don't hesitate to reach out across the aisle. So even if you're not paired up with the person, like this is our chance to get to know each other. So like network.
Well, thank you so much, Takia. Thank you, everybody, once again. Have a great weekend, and we'll see you next Friday. Take care.
Take care, guys. Bye.
Bye, y'all. Have a great weekend.